the lesson of the Holocaust itself. And so we're called to live in a way that shows that we've actually learned from our past. And that means rejecting indifference. It means cultivating a habit of empathy, and recognizing ourselves in one another, to make common cause with the outsider. The minority, whether that minority is Christian or Jew, whether it is Hindu or Muslim. Or a non-believer, whether that minority is native-born or immigrant, whether they're Israeli or Palestinian. It means taking a stand against bigotry in all its forms. And rejecting our darkest impulses and guarding against tribalism as the only value in our communities and in our politics. It means heeding the lesson repeated so often in the Torah. To welcome the stranger, for we were once strangers, too. That's how we never forget, not simply by keeping the lessons of the show in our memories. But by living them in our actions. As the book of Deuteronomy teaches us, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice you shall pursue. I want to close with what I'm told is a Jewish legend. It's said that within every generation there are 36 virtuous individuals so honorable. So filled with compassion, that their good works sustain the very existence of the world. They are called lamed vovniks, and without them, society crumbles, according to the legend. We don't know who they are. They're entirely indistinguishable, ordinary people like Walery and Marilla and Lois and Roddy. You wouldn't necessarily recognize them in a crowd. but I believe that their generation, the generation of Schindler and Wallenberg and Karski, demanded a lot more than 36. It called for more than 26,000 righteous among the nations. It called for the millions of heroes who did not go quietly and who stood up and fought back. And may we all strive to live up to their noble example, to be the lamed Vovniks of our generation. To do our part to sustain each other and to embrace the humanity that we share, and in so doing, save our world. May the memory of the lost be a blessing. And as nations and individuals, may we always strive be among the righteous. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the State of Israel. Barack Obama. Speech to the people of Rio de Janeiro. Delivered March 20, 2011, Teatro Municipal, Rio de Janeiro. President Obama, hello, Rio de Janeiro. Audience, hello. Audience member, many welcomes. President Obama, allo. Cidade. Maravilhoso. Boa tarde, todo o povo brasileiro. Since the moment we arrived, the people of this nation have graciously shown my family the warmth and generosity of the Brazilian spirit. Obrigado. Thank you. And I want to give a special thanks to all of you for being here. Because I've been told that there's a Vasco football game coming. Botafogo. So I know that I realize Brazilians don't give up their soccer very easily. Now, one of my earliest impressions of Brazil was a movie I saw with my mother as a very young child. A movie called Black Orpheus, that is set in the favelas of Rio during Carnival. And my mother loved that movie, with its singing and dancing against the backdrop of the beautiful green hills. And it first premiered as a play right here in Teatro Municipal. That's my understanding. And my mother is gone now, but she would have never imagined that her son's first trip to Brazil would be as President of the United States. She would have never imagined that. And I never imagined that. This country would be even more beautiful than it was in the movie. You are, as Jorge Benjor sang, a tropical country, blessed by God, and beautiful by nature. I've seen that beauty in the cascading hillsides, in your endless miles of sand and ocean. And in the vibrant, diverse gatherings of brasileiros who have come here today. And we have a wonderfully mixed group. We have cariocas and paulistas, baianas, mineiros. We've got men and women from the cities to the interior. And so many young people here who are the great future of this great nation. Now, yesterday, I met with your wonderful new president, Dilma Rousseff. And talked about how we can strengthen the partnership between our governments. But today, I want to speak directly to the Brazilian people. About how we can strengthen the friendship between our nations. I've come here to share some ideas because I want to speak of the values that we share. The hopes that we have in common, and the difference that we can make together. When you think about it, the journeys of the United States of America and Brazil began in similar ways. Our lands are rich with God's creation, home to ancient and indigenous peoples. From overseas, the Americas were discovered by men who sought a new world. And settled by pioneers who pushed westward, across vast frontiers. We became colonies claimed by distant crowns, but soon declared our independence. We then welcomed waves of immigrants to our shores. And eventually, after a long struggle, we cleansed the stain of slavery from our land. The United States was the first nation to recognize Brazil's independence. And set up a diplomatic outpost in this country. The first head of state to visit the United States was the leader of Brazil, Dom Pedro II. In the Second World War, our brave men and women fought side by side for freedom. And after the war, both of our nations struggled to achieve the full blessings of liberty. On the streets of the United States, men and women marched and bled, and some died so that every citizen could. Enjoy the same freedoms and opportunities no matter what you looked like, no matter where you came from. In Brazil, you fought against 2 decades of dictatorships for the same. Right to be heard - the right to be free from fear, free from want. And yet, for years, democracy and development were slow to take hold, and millions suffered as a result. But I come here today because those days have passed. Brazil today is a flourishing democracy, a place where people are free to speak their mind and choose their leaders. Where a poor kid from Pernambuco can rise from the floors of a copper factory to the highest office in Brazil. Over the last decade, the progress made by the Brazilian people has inspired the world. More than half of this nation is now considered middle class. Millions have been lifted from poverty. For the first time, hope is returning to places where fear had long prevailed. I saw this today when I visited Cidade de Deus, the city of God. It isn't just the new security efforts and social programs, and I want to congratulate the mayor and the governor for the excellent work that they're doing. But it's also a change in attitudes. As one young resident said, people have to look at favelas not with pity. But as a source of presidents and lawyers and doctors, artists and people with solutions. With each passing day, Brazil is a country with more solutions. In the global community, you've gone from relying on the help of other nations to now helping fight poverty and disease wherever they exist. You play an important role in the global institutions that protect our common security and promote our common prosperity. And you will welcome the world to your shores when the World Cup and the Olympic Games come to Rio de Janeiro. Now, you may be aware that the city was not my first choice for the Summer Olympics. But if the games could not be held in Chicago, then there's no place I'd rather see them than right here in Rio. and I intend to come back in 2016 to watch what happens. For so long, Brazil was a nation brimming with potential but held back by politics, both at home and abroad. For so long, you were called a country of the future. Told to wait for a better day that was always just around the corner. Meus amigos, that day has finally come. And this is a country of the future no more. The people of Brazil should know that the future has arrived. It is here now. And it's time to seize it. Now, our countries have not always agreed on everything. And just like many nations, we're going to have our differences of opinion going forward. But I'm here to tell you that the American people don't just recognize Brazil's success, we root for Brazil's success. As you confront the many challenges you still face at home as well as abroad. Let us stand together not as senior and junior partners, but as equal partners, joined in a spirit of mutual interest and mutual respect. Committed to the progress that I know that we can make together. I'm confident we can do it. Together we can advance our common prosperity. As two of the world's largest economies, we worked side by side during the financial crisis to restore growth and confidence. And to keep our economies growing, we know what's necessary in both of our nations. We need a skilled, educated workforce, which is why American and Brazilian companies have pledged to help increase student exchanges between our two nations.